So I'm going to open up a new tab in my terminal. And I'm going to say yarn add react router DOM. I'm going to let that install. And so in order for React Router DOM, in order to be able to put links within there, there's a few things you have to set up. So we'll go ahead and start setting that up right now while it's loading. So in the app.js, you pretty much want to put this component within wherever the start of your application is. So we're going to say, and actually, one thing I want to mention, I probably should have mentioned a little bit earlier. In React, there's two basic ways to create a component. You can create a class app extends component, which has a lot of the React features, such as using lifecycles, which if you want to be able to do certain functions when a specific thing happens, like for instance, if the app loads, then run this function, you're going to need a lifecycle method. If you want to load, whenever a new parameters pass through this component, then update, then you're going to want to use a lifecycle method. If you want any kind of state using the React state, which is basically just a way of storing information within the component temporarily, you're going to want to use this kind of component. You're not going to want to use a pure component, which is this. This is a pure component. It's just an anonymous function. This does not have any access to any lifecycle methods or state. So in this case, our app is not using any lifecycle methods and it's not using any state. So we're actually going to just convert this into a pure component. So we'll just say const app equals anonymous function. And we don't need this render anymore. And so we could leave it like this with that. We could do that, or we could even shorten it further, get rid of the return, leave the parenthesis, and do just that. Okay, I made that a little simpler. So anyways, like I was saying, with the React router, in order to initialize your router, you have to wrap everything in this tag called the router. And you get this router from import, and I put in curly braces, browser router as router. You could just use browser router. You don't have to do the as router. You could just do this and do it like that. It just makes more sense just to have router in here, so that's what we do. Browser router as router from, and we're going to say React router DOM, which is the package we just installed. Okay, so now we have router in here, and let's tab this over and end the router tag. So everything within here is using the router from React router DOM. Okay, cool. So now if we go over to our header, we can now use React router links. So we're going to do import link from React router DOM. It's another little function that comes, or component that comes with React router DOM. We're going to change these A's to links. And then we're going to change the href to 2. And now we want to put where we want the route to go. So we just want to go to slash, which is our home page. And we'll leave that how it is. And we're just going to copy and paste this and replace these. So we have home, about, create post. All right. This is going to go to home, and home, and this is going to go to about, slash about, and this one's going to go to okay, I guess we can just put the link in here. Create. Well, now we'll worry about this one later when we actually get to the creating a new post. So we'll just leave this as an href. We'll go ahead and save this. It's going to recompile. And now we get in this warning. Component is defined but never used. It's a nice little warning that tells you when you have overhead in your code that's not being used. So we're no longer using the class of component. So instead we can just get rid of this, import. Okay, go ahead and save that. That warning should go away. And now we have this ugly header. What is going on? Why is it doing that? Okay, let's go ahead and inspect this and see what is going on here. Oh, I know why. So if you actually look in the inspector, oh, I accidentally copied over the class name brand logo to these two links, which obviously they're not brand logos, so that's just Materialize styling it how the brand logo is. So we'll get rid of those classes. And there we go. So that's pretty much how we have it set. One more thing to notice if you look at what we're going for and what we have, we're very pressed to the edge, so I'm going to put a container around everything so it's nice and squished down. Alright, so where am I going to do that? Let's see. Within the blue, because we don't want the blue to be shortened. We want the blue to go across and the content to be contained. So we're going to say, we're going to go inside here, put a new div, class name is equal to container. Alright, and go ahead and scooch these over one. Again, I would prefer to use styled components versus classes, but in this case, Materialize is a great way to get up and running. We don't got to worry about the CSS. Maybe that's another video for another day, is styling and CSS, because that's a whole different topic. We can go an hour about. Alright, so we got that saved. Let's make sure the container works. Alright, cool. Now we got that all nice and tidy. Now let's go ahead and do the main section. So if we go back to our app, and we're going to change this p tag, and we're going to call main. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and import main from components/main. And so what this does is it says, okay, within the components, where's the main? And notices there's a folder named main, so it goes in and it looks for the index, which is what comes right here. So now we're going to say import React from React, and we're going to say constant main is equal to a arrow function for the time being. This will be turned into a full-blown component in a few minutes. For now, I like to always start off as simple and basic as possible, and then complicate things as needed. Alright, so constant main, we're just going to use the HTML main tag. And we're going to put a container within the main. So I'm using emmet here, container, class name is container. And then we'll just close the main tag, just like that. And we'll export default main, just like that. Go ahead and save that and save the app. We should get a nice blank page. Let me just put a little something in here so we can make sure it's working. Main component. And you should see it show right up in here. Alright, cool. So now let's get the footer in, and then we'll work on the juicy parts of this application. Okay, so footer, let's go back to the app. After the main, we're going to just do footer, get it out, and we're going to import the footer from components, footer. Okay, save that, go back into our footer file, import React from React, and now we're going to say const footer is equal to anonymous function, close that out, export default footer. Alright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Materialize. They have a nice little footer built in component. So I'm just going to go over to the footer. And we're going to copy this. Copied. And oops. Paste that in. tab that right, and we're going to change all the classes to class name. Okay, now let's get rid of all the stuff we don't need. So if we look at the original, this is what we need. So we're going to change the footer content to my React blog. I don't know why I left that in, but I can probably, we'll just leave that. You can change that to whatever you like. Links, we do have 3 links. So again, we're going to use the React router. So we're going to say import link from React router DOM, and we're going to change. We only need 3 links, but actually we're only doing 2 right now. We'll do the create post when we get there. So link to equals 2 slash, and then we'll change this to link to about. Okay, let me turn the text wrapping on for you guys, the word wrap, so you can see everything. Okay, so let's see. One thing I know we have to do is we have to make it blue because it's going to be a pink salmon color. And there's we have links. Here we have change this. We don't need the href anymore. We have the 2. We'll change this to home. We don't need this a tag anymore. We need the link tag. Okay. Let's see what else do I have. The class name is just going to be white text, and again get rid of this a tag and change this to about. Get rid of that link like so. We don't need this 4th link, and then I'm just going to change this to new post. Doesn't really matter. We're going to change that in a bit. Create post like this, and then update the copyright my React blog, and we don't need this extra links. Go ahead and save that, and put this up to the side. Okay, that looks pretty similar. To be honest, I don't know why. Oh, that's weird. That's just one of those weird effects where maybe that's my monitor, but to me it looks much darker up here. Anyways, yeah, we're good. We're good with the footer. Let me put this back down. All right, so now let's get into the juicy meat of this application, which is the main section, this main component. Get out of the footer. Let's close out the header for now, and go back into the main index within the main. So now our main component is where all of our sub-components, I guess you could say, all of our pages are going to be loaded within here. Because all of our pages are going to have the same header and the same footer. So this is where we want to put our routes. So we're going to say import route from React router DOM. Okay, and we're going to replace this main component with these routes. So route path equals to that, and we're going to say component. So what loads in here? And we're going to say posts. We're going to have the post component load within the home page. We don't have the post, so where's that going to come from? So now we have to create our first page. So within our main, we're going to have another folder called pages. And within our pages, we are going to have the file called post.js. And again, like all of our other things, we're going to say import React from React post is equal to anonymous function, and I'm just going to, let's just return a div that says posts. Okay, export default posts. Okay, go ahead and save that, go back to the index, and now we got to import it. So import post from pages /posts. All right, So now, what this does is it loads everything else. It loads the header and the footer, then it looks at the main and it says, okay, within this container, if the route is the root, the slash, then you're going to load the component of posts. Okay. So now let's go ahead and add our about page too. So we're going to say import about from pages/about. We're going to make that in just 1 second. Copy it, paste it in here, and we're going to say about. Okay, and pages new about.js. Import React from, actually, let me just copy this and change this to posts to about. Save that. Why am I getting this? Okay, weird linting error. Okay, and fix this up. We're going to go ahead and save this index page. So we're on the root and we're loading posts. Okay, so if we were to go to the about, which we put the link in here from the nav, now we get both. What? So the reason for that is because if you look at the route, it's because it says, are you at the root? Yeah, we have the slash there, so it's going to load post, and then it also has about in it, so it's going to load both. And that's obviously not what we want. So for the root route, you always have to put exact, which means it's only going to load when just the slash is there. It's just the root. So now that we save it, this post should be gone. Cool. All right, and then if we go back to home and go to posts. Cool. All right, so let's just do this about page really quick. It's going to be very simple just to show you guys. So I'm going to change this div to have a class name of section, and we're going to say h1, and just to p, this is the about page. Obviously, you would want to edit this if this is going to be your actual blog. I said that's so weird. Oh well. Okay, so now if you go to the about, we're at the about page. Okay, cool. Now we got our routing working, and if we check the footer again because we use the links, we can do that. All right, we're done with the about page. Now let's get into the post.